Now, from the station on your side, this is Wavy News 10.
A massive pileup on one of the busiest travel days of the year.
We kept feeling more and more bumps because everybody just kept smashing and smashing back to back.
Those involved described chaos as dozens of cars collide in York County. We have team coverage tonight as state police continue to investigate what caused the massive crash. And thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Chris Horn. Interstate 64 is back open tonight after portions of that highway were shut down for nearly 8 hours because of that crash. Nearly 70 vehicles were involved in the crash that left 51 people hurt. Lan Levy posted these pictures from the crash on Facebook. 10 on Your Side spoke with two people caught up in the chaos near the Camp Peary exit. We'll hear from them in just a few minutes. We begin our team coverage tonight with 10 on Your Side's Tamara Scott. She joins us live now from Riverside Regional Medical Center. And Tamara, what do we know so far about what happened here?
Hey, good evening, Chris. Well, we know now that both the westbound and the eastbound lanes have reopened at this point. It took several responding agencies and several hours for them to clear that area, and that's in part because there was a separate unrelated accident involving multiple vehicles on the eastbound lanes. But state police say they first got the call just before 8 o'clock this morning for reports of a multi-vehicle crash in the westbound lanes. We know now that there were 69 vehicles in total involved. 51 people were transported and or treated from the crash. 2 of those people at least are being treated for major injuries. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, but a preliminary investigation reveals some factors that involved icy road conditions and early morning fog. First responding agencies from York County, James City County, Hampton, Newport News, as well as VDOT and the Virginia Department of Emergency Management all helped to clear things out.
There was no fire as a result of the incident. We did have to extricate or remove with jaws of life, as they're known, a few patients, but no fire involved.
Now, police say there are no fatalities reported at this time, but because of the size of the accident and the number of people that are involved, a report of this accident will not be available for another couple of days. And at this point, there have been no charges filed. For now, in Newport News, Tamara Scott, 10 on Your Side.
Tamara, thanks. And our team coverage continues now with Deanna Bettineschi. She spoke with a woman who was involved in the crash. She described the chaos in the moments after her car was hit.
These are the pictures Emily Fields took of the crash on I-64 this morning. She says her mom was driving when they started to see cars slide on the roadway and crash into each other. Their vehicle also became part of the pileup.
And we knew right after that we were going to get hit again, and like not even a second later, a car smashed to the back end of us. And then we kept feeling more and more bumps because everybody just kept smashing and smashing back to back.
Luckily, her family was okay. She says as she made her way out of the car, she heard people screaming for help.
I've never seen such a community help each other so much after nobody was thinking about themselves. Everybody wanted to make sure everybody else was all right. So I thought that was a nice thing to see out of such a bad situation.
She says it was extremely foggy, cold, and the roads were slick. Fields says buses were brought in to keep people warm while they waited for first responders to clear the roadway. She says because of the crash, her family will be staying in town for Christmas and won't make it to Alabama like they planned. Deanna Bettineschi, 10 on Your Side.
And as we mentioned, dozens of people went to 4 different hospitals in our area. One of them was Daryl Butler Jr. He was heading to work this morning when the crash happened. Butler says he slowed down because of the fog and because cars in front of him were slowing down as well. And that's when he was hit from behind and then hit several more times as more cars crashed behind him. Butler says he's a little bruised up, but thankful his injuries were not more serious.
Kind of get a little emotional about this because my mom passed away in a car accident, and to watch my life flash before my eyes and knowing that's how my mom died and knowing that God still allowed me to see today and talk to you guys and knows I'm here for a purpose.
And let's now bring meteorologist Casey Laheka into our team coverage. And Casey, state police have said fog and icy conditions were factors in this crash. What do we have this morning?
Yeah, so really there was, those two factors that were working against us here. And this is what happened with both the fog and also those temps that were below freezing and how kind of that black ice formed. So this was just by the Queens Creek Lake here. And so we saw just some water. And so when you have really dense air, the water that's in the air has nowhere else to go, so it condenses out and it goes onto surfaces. And once you have a bridge that overpasses, it can freeze much quicker. So that water condensed out onto the bridge. But once you have that freezing air, it froze on contact with the roadway, and especially overpasses and bridges you have to be especially careful on, because not only does the freezing cold air have access to the roadway on top, but also below the bridge on the bottom, so it allows it to freeze a lot quicker than just a regular road. So two factors really bringing in a lot of problems here this morning across the region. And so right now we really warmed up throughout the day. Most areas were topping off into the upper 40s to low 50s, and right now most areas are still in the lower 40s across the region. But over the past 12 hours, we started off, everyone was right around that freezing mark this morning, and then we quickly rose up into the upper 40s. There's a lot of rain off to our south. The good news is a lot of this is not headed our way. There's a chance we could see some showers tomorrow, but mainly just a cloudy sky. I'll time all of that out for you coming up in just a bit.
Thanks, Casey, and we're just getting started here at 6. Coming up, a fire investigation in Norfolk. How many people were forced from their homes days before Christmas?